going on YouTube? Dorito here, and today Luch is up on the mountain and I'm down here myself. It's Labor Day weekend, and you know, here we know you don't come down the mountain on Labor Day weekend. So Luch, salute. Anyways, yesterday I picked up a 2015 Tao Motors Snow Leopard 200cc snowmobile. Now this just isn't any snowmobile. This is actually the very first snowmobile that came out of the crate from China imports. Tao Motors actually imported this, and this is the very first one that came out of the crate, and they did all the EPA testing on. So here we are, seven and a half years later. This thing's got 16 miles on it. They ran it for 16 miles, 4 hours, to do some testing on it, drained the fuel on it, put it on a pallet, stuffed it away. So I got my hands on it, and like I said, this is the very first Chinese snowmobile imported by Tao Motors or anybody else to come out of the crate. So I think it's really cool that I got my hands on it. So what I'm going to do today is I've actually already kind of been over it. I checked the fuel lines. I made sure all the connections were okay. The fuel lines feel real good still. They're not all dried up and cracked. Everything feels real good on this. So I've already went ahead and put a battery in it, and I've confidently put some fuel in it. Now I have cranked it over several times, and it wouldn't start. So I'm hoping the fuel, we'll do a little bit more cranking on it. I'm hoping it's going to start. If it doesn't, well then when the Luch comes down, we'll make sure it does start. But I'm pretty sure I got this handled. So anyways, what you want to do is you want to make sure you want to go over the carburetor. You want to check all your fuel lines, all your air lines, make sure that nothing's cracked, and you want to check and make sure that everything's connected. And this is on any sort of old unit you get that hasn't ran for a while and has been setting. You want to make sure that nothing's corroded on it. So I've pretty much already done all that. The cool thing about this is, and I'll go ahead and get you guys down here in 1 second to point out a few things on this thing. This thing actually has a disc brake on the transmission. That is the brake period. It's really a cool setup. I'm kind of looking at it in here. There's really a lot of cool things about a snowmobile that I never even knew, because, here in Southern California, how often are you going to have a snowmobile?
What the actual hell?
You know what I'm saying? So anyways, what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to get you guys down here, and I'm just going to point out all the coolness factor of the snowmobile. And then we're going to go ahead and try and get it started. All right? So let's get on with it. Shall we? Thank you, Bucket. Okay, people. So I just wanted to show you here. This is the transmission. And there's the disc brake right there. And that comes into there, which I've never seen a design like that. I think it's freaking awesome. So anyways, just wanted to show you guys. You want to go ahead and go over to the carburetor. You want to check it all, make sure everything's good to go. I don't know if this carburetor's gummed up or not. Don't know if we have to pull it out yet or anything, but we'll find out. Anyways, the connections, make sure they're all good. You want to check everything and go over everything. I did, when I filled it up, I put a little bit of gas in there and I waited to see if it would leak any fuel. It hasn't leaked any fuel, so I know there's fuel in there. When I did try cranking it over, I did get a real old fuel smell. So I'm hoping that I don't need to pull the air box there and spray some starting fluid down. That'll be the next shot. If that don't work, after I try starting it right now, then what we'll do is we'll pull the carburetor and have to clean it. So anyways, I'm gonna put you guys back on there and try and get it started. All right, guys, so we're back for the moment of truth. Let's go ahead and see if we get it started. And then if it does run, we'll go ahead and get it washed off, because this thing has a good 7 years worth of dirt on it. And it's really, really pretty dirty. So anyways, without any further ado, let's try it. What do you say, Bucket? All right. Brake on. There we go. This is really cool. All right. Okay, so it starts. Now, I did check the oil as well, too, to make sure the oil was full. And it wasn't that bad. I am going to have to change the oil and stuff like that. But it started. So, ultimately, this is a win. We're going to go ahead and pull it over and wash it and, you know, take some pictures of it, how it sits, and then roll it back in and close out this video. All right, so we'll get right back to you. Maybe we'll be fast forwarding that part. Before we get ready to wash it, though, we got to make sure and put the cowl back on. So we'll go ahead and get that cowl back on as well. All right, guys, time for the ultimate test now. We're going to start this thing and see if we can back it down the driveway and get it into the lawn to wash it under its own power. I really don't want to push this thing around too much. So, anyways, let's go ahead and start it and see what it does.
It's right here.
That's right there. So let's get it started. Headlights work. Figure out what that is. Anyways, okay, so never ridden a snowmobile before, let alone ridden a snowmobile, I don't know, outside on the cement. So we're gonna put this thing in reverse. Hope I don't hit my wife's car. It does. Phew. All right, guys. So there you have it. A clean snowmobile. It's a 2015 Snow Leopard 200cc snowmobile. Now this thing sat for 7 years, okay? All I did was check everything to make sure it was okay. Put a battery in it, put some fuel in it, cranked it for a long time, and then it fired up. This goes to show you with these GY6 engines that as long as you run the fuel out, you don't need to worry about the carburetor. Everybody does know that. But with the GY6s, they don't, most of them don't have a pit cock, a shutoff valve. And a lot of them are vacuum assisted, some of them. And this one is. And so what happens is people assume that when they shut it off, all the fuel is out of the carburetor. Well, it's not. With this vacuum assisted shutoff valve, the fuel stays in the carburetor. So you basically got to either A, drain all the fuel out of the gas tank and then run the fuel out of the carburetor completely, or you just got to run all the fuel out. So that's what I'm assuming was done with this. They said they did drain the fuel out, and I believe it. This thing fired right up after 7 years. Now I am going to change the oil. I am going to do all that stuff, but the oil looked real clean. It only had 16 miles on it, but it's 7-year-old shipping oil. So we're going to change the oil on it. We got some plans for this thing, so you guys go ahead and keep your eyes out. As you guys can see, it doesn't steer well on the pavement or in anything on the skis, except for probably snow, obviously. So we're going to have to do something about that, because, you know, this is Southern California, and up on Luch Mountain you can ride a snowmobile, but down here, where the heck are you going to do it? So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to come back and hit that like button if you already haven't. Hit that bell if you already haven't as well. And thanks for watching Dorito and the Lucha Cabre. You know, we wouldn't be able to do all this if it wasn't for Tao Motors. And I want to thank you guys for giving us the opportunity to share all this cool stuff with the YouTube community. Once again, thanks, Tao Motors. You guys rock. Luch Mob!
Kneel before sod! Snitchy boochies. Ah!